America called them heroes. They fought on foreign soil, wearing the uniform of a country that did not see them as equal. They risked their lives in France, in muddy trenches, under fire, believing that victory abroad might finally mean dignity at home. But when black soldiers returned from World War I, the welcome home was not parades. It was fire. 1919, the year historians now call the Red Summer, a season soaked in blood and betrayal. In city after city, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Knoxville, Omaha, Elaine, Arkansas, mobs of white men stormed black neighborhoods, burning homes, beating veterans still in uniform, lynching fathers in front of their families. The message was clear. You may have fought for democracy, but you will not have it here. And yet something changed that summer. For the first time in modern American history, black men and women began to fight back, not with submission, but with strategy. Out of that fire rose a secret brotherhood born of rage, intellect, and survival. They called themselves the African Blood Brotherhood. It was 1919. Cyril Briggs, a journalist from St. Kitts and editor of the Crusader newspaper, had seen enough. Through his writings, Briggs exposed racial hypocrisy and urged his readers to see beyond the American illusion of equality. He believed that black people were not a problem to be solved. They were a nation waiting to be reborn. The African Blood Brotherhood was the first radical organization of its kind in America, a fusion of military veterans, socialists, Garveyites, and freethinkers, all united by one creed. If the state will not defend us, we will defend ourselves. They met in basements, barbershops, and print rooms, studying revolution, economics, and the art of protection. They analyzed the writings of Marx and Garvey, debated the future of Pan-African unity, and trained quietly in self-defense. They believed that black liberation required both intellect and arms. Freedom would not be given, it would be secured. Briggs and his allies proposed something unheard of, a separate black republic within the borders of the United States, a land where sovereignty, not segregation, defines citizenship. Their vision was radical, bold, and terrifying to those in power. Across the country, members spread their message through the Crusader. They printed leaflets denouncing lynching and capitalism, calling for worker solidarity and armed resistance to racial terror. In Chicago and New York, their influence quietly merged with Marcus Garvey's UNIA movement. And while Garvey preached racial pride and global unity, the Brotherhood provided the steel behind the words. To many, they were ghosts, too dangerous to speak of openly, too bold to ignore. To the federal government, they were a threat. Agents from the Bureau of Investigation, the early FBI, infiltrated their meetings, seized their pamphlets, and labeled Briggs a subversive. Mainstream black leaders, fearful of white backlash, distanced themselves. But in the streets, in the communities under siege, the Brotherhood's name spread like a whisper of hope. In the Elaine Massacre of 1919, in the resistance in Chicago and the stand in Washington, D.C., those whispers became gunfire, the sound of a people no longer willing to die quietly. Though small in number, the African Blood Brotherhood's influence was vast. Many of its members later joined the Communist Party, connecting black liberation with global struggles against oppression. Others became early mentors to civil rights strategists, passing down the lessons of armed discipline and community organization. Their philosophy lived on through generations. You can trace it from Garvey's speeches to Malcolm X's father's activism to the disciplined patrols of the Black Panther Party. They were the first to prove that the idea of self-defense was not violence, it was survival. A spiritual duty to protect black life when justice refused to do so. But like many early black radicals, their story was buried under decades of silence. The press called them extremists. The government destroyed their records, and in classrooms across America, their name was erased so that future generations might never know how deep the roots of Black resistance truly go. Yet, the truth remains. The African Blood Brotherhood lit the torch that would later burn in every Black Power rally, every community patrol, every cry for sovereignty. They proved that courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet vow to stand between your people and their destruction. Sometimes it's a typewriter, a pamphlet, and a plan whispered between soldiers who came home to war all over again. When peace failed, protection rose. And in that rise, a movement was born, one that dared to defend the Black body, the Black home, and the Black future. This is the Black History Vault. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.